the most important thing to do when you're going through that whole process is find the thing that's slowing you down. Don't optimize the thing you're already good at, and don't even optimize the thing that you're kind of good at but could be better. Like, find the thing that's hard that you've been avoiding this whole time that you know is holding you back. Because if you can make that one better, then everything else is going to get a little bit better, right? Hey, I'm Steve McGhee. I'm a reliability advocate at Google Cloud. I was an SRE for a long time, and now I help people build more reliable systems on the cloud.
Hi, I'm Kyle Campbell, founder of CTO.ai. We are a modern development platform that helps companies measure the software developer experience. Been an entrepreneur and a self-taught software engineer for a long time, and love to help developers build internal developer platforms. I'm just going to come back to the capabilities, and I want to touch a little bit on the buzzwords that are out there, because I'm trying to sort through, what are core capabilities versus what are some of these more buzzwords that are made up of capabilities. Can you describe sort of like at a high level, from your point of view, like what's the relationship between, say, DevOps and DORA, or similarly, what do you think these terms platform engineering means as we evolve maybe from like ITSM, DevOps, platform engineering? These are the new words, right? How does that all kind of like fit within this concept of DORA? Or how does DORA fit within those concepts?
Yeah, this is the eternal question. Like, is DevOps dead or not? Like, or is the new thing dead or
I
not?
didn't want to say it. I really hate that phrase because I don't believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it was alive at any point. So
Yeah.
who knew that could be dead? Yeah, I mean, I'm actually in the middle of writing an article about this for someone about, like, so my story is I was in college and I was studying computer science. I didn't really love it that much. Like, I loved parts of it, but my job was to be a systems administrator on campus. So like I would spend half my day in some, lab somewhere, like pulling cables and like installing mail servers and like, compiling kernels. And then I would go and I'd like be studying compilers. And then I'd be like, I went into grad school and did like distributed systems, and that was cool. And like security and like, so like I had this weird like dual life, right? Where it was like sysadmin and developer. And I didn't realize that I was like training to be an SRE. And like, what, in my mind, like the programming stuff was clear. Like, that was computer science. It was software development. It was about products. Like there was a class called like product development or something like that. And it was like delivering value to your customers. And then there was like all this other stuff. And like, and I loved it. And like, there was all these books about them. And like, it wasn't in school, but like, there was so much to learn there. And like, all that stuff is like, it's hard to define is the problem. And so we keep trying to like come up with new words and keep defining it again and again and again and again. And we come up with these new levels of abstraction, and we talk about like the interop between like the people and the tech and so like, I think that whole area is like the fun area to me. And that has like many overlapping circles. And like some of it is like you're building a platform, so you don't have to do the same thing over and over again. And like working on that to me is the platform engineering, like working with the developers or being a developer who also plays in this world. You're doing DevOps. Like, I mean, I'm of the firm belief you shouldn't have a DevOps team, but like whatever. But like if you're doing the dev and the ops together, like in one brain, you're kind of doing the DevOps. And then like if you're far on like the infrastructure side and you never really work with developers, like maybe you're doing ITIL, like maybe you're doing pure procurement of network connectivity or something like that, which is super deep and it's way out there. But like it's all part of that other stuff section, not the product that we're building for the customer, but it's all required for any of the stuff to work. So like I'm kind of amused by the fact that we keep churning through names, and like I think it just kind of shows that maybe the space is really big, you guys. Like maybe software engineering is this big and the other space is also just really big, and who cares if we can't really cut it up very clearly? It's all pretty amorphous, and it blends into itself and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm really just dodging your question, but like how does DORA fit into all this? Like I think it's saying, how do you take this big blob and know if it's working or not? Like, how do we know that the people are able to shove good ideas through this giant system effectively?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you
Yeah.
have people with different titles along the way or not, is it working? Yes or no? Like, is the number getting, is number going up or not? And if, your interpretation of why the number isn't going up or why the number is going down in context of whatever your blob looks like this year, that's up to you to interpret. Like, DORA's not going to do that for you. It can give you the shape and some names of some things that might be in this blob, and these are all those capabilities. But like how those map to people and teams and how they interact and how the culture works between all them, you just got to talk to people. Like, there's no shortcut to that. There's no algorithm you can run. You just got to talk to people and figure out like where the trouble is. And like the most important thing to do when you're going through that whole process is find the thing that's slowing you down. Don't optimize the thing you're already good at, and don't even optimize the thing that you're kind of good at but could be better. Like, find the thing that's hard that you've been avoiding this whole time that is holding you back. Because if you can make that one better, then everything else is going to get a little bit better, right? And so the kind of the joke that we have is like, you're never done with DORA, because you do a DORA assessment once and you figure out, oh, we really need to work on our CI. You spend a year making your CI just stellar, and you're like, hey, we're done. And we're like, no, you're not. You come back, you do DORA again, do another assessment, and look at this. You have a whole different capability. Yeah, your CI is much better. Good job. Now you're being held back by something else. So there's always some capability that's holding you back, and that's the thing you should work on. So don't work on all of the things at once all the time. Find the thing that's holding you back and work on that one.
Yeah, I love looking back at like the evolution from like ITSM to DevOps to now platform engineering, because I think what it represents is both that sort of sociological study or sociological science that sort of I think is core to the kind of broader understanding of what DORA is trying to accomplish, right? But I think it also represents this sort of like evolution in software engineering. And I think there's been an evolution of capabilities. And like, I love contrasting that with the idea of Moore's Law and saying, you're right, like it's not going to stop. It is going to keep going. And that's also why earlier I asked about, is there an exhaustive list of capabilities? Where does that end? Because in my mind, it's like we had ITSM, we learned, we evolved into these DevOps cultures. With these DevOps cultures, DORA emerged and helped us understand that there's, a more strategic way of applying capabilities that are more self-service, that are more self-directed for developers, that can drive the developer experience. I think that's really what platform engineering is trying to solve in a lot of ways. Like, it's a set of ways that we can work that I think were unlocked much by the research that DORA has offered. And I think it's exciting to think about what comes next, because it won't end. Just like working on the CI platform won't end. Like the industry will get larger. There will be more software engineers. Hopefully everyone at some point has the opportunity to be in software, right? Because I think it's afforded a great opportunity for so many people. But I think with more people, we need to have more advanced capabilities. And the question I always ask is like, which ones matter, right? I think that's what DORA helps us to answer.
If you want to learn more about DORA, check out dora.dev, and you can join our community as well. There's a URL, dora.community, which is an actual URL. You can type it into your browser, and where we meet up a couple times a month to talk about DORA and how they're adopted within communities and organizations. And then keep a lookout for Ask DORA. I call it DORA Bot, but we have an LLM that's trained on all of the DORA material for the past 10 years, and you can ask it any question you'd like to better understand all the material within the DORA reports over the years. And don't forget to check out the Accelerate book as well. It's 10 years old and it still rings true.
If you're looking to advance your CI/CD practices and get DORA metrics automatically through that tool, check out CTO.ai. We will help you set up your CI/CD process to automatically collect and search and report on the DORA metrics that come out of your CI/CD practices. And then you can use those and compare them with the word of your team to understand how to continuously improve over time. I want to say a big thank you to Steve from DORA for joining us, and we'll see you soon.